Ciao a tutti ragazzi, io sono Klaus e oggi continuiamo con Game of Thrones. Continua episodio 1. Ci eravamo lasciati con Gareth che doveva intraprendere una specie di viaggio. Non lo so. È passato un paio di giorni.
Although just a handmaiden, she has Marjorie Tyrell's favor. And Lady Marjorie's betrothal to the king may be enough to keep the Boltons at bay, if it's presented to her as it should be.
Vediamo un po'. Tu saresti, non mi ricordo. Ah, non abbiamo più Gareth qui. Vabbè, scatola di legno ferro, guarda. Vabbè, o è legno o è ferro, cioè. Oppure il legno è duro come il ferro. O il ferro è come il legno. Vabbè, chi se ne fotte. Vediamo questo. Bello. Sarebbe bello da appendere al muro. Monete, cos'è? Tasto destro, così.
It was very kind of Lady Marjorie to give this to me.
Sì, cos'è un medaglione, qualcosa. Oh, vabbè. Ah, tasto destro per tornare indietro. Guarda quest'altro, vediamo.
Asher sent me this coin to remember him.
Asher. Yeah. No,
What a strange
basta questa
place,
battuta, dai.
Essos.
Leggi un po', vediamo che dice.
Father, much excitement here in King's Landing for the coming wedding. Lady Marjorie has proven to be quite popular throughout the city. I do wish you and Mother could come, although I know it would be impossible under the circumstances. I miss all of you, and I look forward to the day you can.
All of you. Che strana doppiatrice, vabbè. E poi secondo me giochi della Telltale dovrebbero prendere dei doppiatori, cioè che parlano italiano, doppiare tutto in italiano, cioè non solo i sottotitoli, però vabbè.
I hope to see them all someday.
Diciamo che secondo il mio parere te lo godi solo a metà il fatto che ci siano sottotitoli comunque in italiano, però il parlato è sempre in inglese. Lettera da mamma, leggi. Poi non lo so, vabbè, il mio parere. Fatemi sapere voi se pensate al contrario.
Appeal to Lady Marjorie to intervene on our behalf. She is our best hope and can be a powerful ally. Especially now when your family so desperately needs her help.
Chi è? Sono nuda. Visto veste? No. Vai a vedere chi è. Sì, un attimo. Apri.
One moment.
Oh, sorry, milady. I didn't mean to disturb you. I can come back later if you
no,
like.
spiccioli. Dai, veniti a prendere.
No, it's fine. Come in.
Fai quello che devi fare. E poi vatti. Cazzo guardi.
Begging your pardon, milady, but you alright? If you don't mind my asking. You seem rather upset.
It's private. I'd rather not say.
Of course, milady. I didn't mean to pry.
Bravo. E
Please
ora
hurry if you can.
finisci.
Lady Marjorie will be here any minute.
Of course, milady.
Bravo. Vabbè.
You work for Lady Marjorie?
Ma i cazzi tuoi no, eh?
I may be wrong. But it seems like you do.
Non è un buon momento.
Perhaps you should come back later.
Of course, milady.
Levati al cazzo. Questi bambini ficchetti ficcano il naso dove non devono. Ragazzini così impetuosi.
Lady Marjorie, you're early.
I was hoping there would be time for us to talk. Come.
Con chi?
There's
Con
something
te
we must
o con
discuss.
le tue tette? Cioè, sono un po' sporgenti, però va bene lo stesso. È pure scoperta.
From the day
che-
you arrived
vabbè.
in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about
Vabbè,
what's
non sono
happened
poi
to your
così
family.
sporgenti, però
I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining,
vabbè, sei molto gentile.
and your poor family as well.
You're very kind, my lady.
Of course, Mira, but you must not despair. We will get through this together. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing.
E quella che
now
ti
that
porti
I'm
dietro
the
chi è
queen.
la coda?
To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for
scella del
Robb
nord.
Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least
Le
afford.
battute deficienti che faccio in Italia.
Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the royal sept.
Cersei. Oh. Quanto siete
She
brutti.
mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor.
Addirittura.
She was very pleased with herself.
Perché dovrebbe farlo?
What does she intend to do?
She intends to make you miserable, knowing that will make me miserable as well. She demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort, for what I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important. I cannot afford any conflict with Cersei
Vabbè,
with the
farò come
wedding
dici.
so near.
I'll do as you ask, my lady.
I knew I could trust you. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear.
Che devo fare? Devo raccontare una barzelletta.
See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive us.
Regina reggente. Regina reggente. Regicalze. Vabbè, basta. Che tu che guardi con quello sguardo languido.
You'll be fine. I know you will.
Da cavaliere di
You may feel
Staceppa.
one thing, but you must say another.
Good luck.
Che cazzo. Ah, ancora la devi aprire. Ha aperto almeno 3 volte. E chi è quel nano? Che
You
cazzo
can
è?
do this.
Sì, ma quello mi arriva al ginocchio, cioè non vorrei dire però. Aspetta, siamo un po' lenti.
Ah, Lady Marjorie. Aren't
Poi
you
questo è
looking lovely this
un
evening?
attore
Lord
abbastanza
Tyrion.
famoso.
Your Grace?
Appunto
With your permission,
vabbè,
allow me to
sarà
introduce
sicuramente
Lady
nel
Mira
Trono di
of House
Spade.
Forrester.
Lo troviamo anche in American Pie, se non mi sbaglio il quarto, boh. Chiniamo il capo perché, anzi, inginocchiamoci così. Arriviamo alla stessa
Your
altezza.
Grace.
The girl knows her courtesies. Impressive. You may rise.
Rice.
House Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Ovvio.
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is.
Yes, Your Grace. To the one true king.
The one true king. Yet she didn't say which.
Eppure lo
You're
sai.
clever.
She only meant...
I don't care what she meant. I care what she said. I won't stand for impertinence from a girl of the north.
If you would give her the chance to explain...
Perhaps she can explain why the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark for
Adesso ti do 2 schiaffi, vedi
House
come ti
traitors.
combino. Erano i nostri
They were the
lord
wardens of the
protettori.
north. We all served at the pleasure of the king.
Clever girl.
Perhaps too clever for
Come
her
guarda.
own good. And she would have us believe she didn't know which king she served. Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new
Bellissimo.
liege lord,
Trono
Roose
di spada
Bolton?
dietro.
Yes, Your Grace. Absolutely.
I see. Despite the fact Roose Bolton allied with Walder Frey. If it was me, I'd find it difficult to so quickly forgive the men who killed my father. Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
To our mutual benefit, Your Grace.
And at the pleasure of your king.
Ovviamente.
It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
There are limits, Your Grace.
Perhaps, but not if your house faces potential ruin.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Rhaegar Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful girl? If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let
would...
the girl answer the question.
I would be true to the king,
leale al re,
Your Grace.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
Non so più di te.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
My sense is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants. Which is not very encouraging. I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
Di cosa? Cioè, of course. No, significa certo, però.
I'll walk you out. This
Tu
may
fai?
come as
Ti
a
devo
surprise.
dare la mano
I
come i
met
bambini.
at the tournament
Che sei
last
basso.
week. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as
passeggiamo.
an honorable man.
Dammi la manina.
You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
These
Vabbè,
are
dai, la
trying
potevo
times, my
risparmiare.
lord. My family fears what might happen now that the Boltons rule the north.
They must still answer to the crown. You shouldn't
Al
forget that.
prossimo
Nor should
salvataggio
they.
chiudiamo, dai, perché
That certainly took
dopo
courage.
non ho molto tempo.
To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining.
I did it for Lady Marjorie.
E la manina?
Rather
Non me la
odd,
dai?
if that's what she asked of you.
Stai attento a cui ti do una
But I'm
cosa.
sure she has your best interests at
Altro che
heart.
manina.
My sister and I have our differences.
Che si sa
She
la
takes great
regola
pleasure in her
della
little
doppia L.
charades. I take mine in thwarting
Vabbè,
them.
lasciamo aperto.
We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard.
Sì, ma tu potresti aiutare la
You
mia
can help my
famiglia?
family.
I suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester.
Ah, più o meno.
Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance. And it
Chi
would
se ne frega?
infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that?
Sono disposto, sono disposto.
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl,
Siamo
aren't you?
cazzuti.
I'll consider it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I
Ora
promise Sansa
che
I
sei
will
alla
join
mia
her for dinner
altezza.
tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival.
Grazie del
Thank you
consiglio.
for the advice, Lord Tyrion.
Just be careful. This is not the North.
E attento alla
King's
quarta.
Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Ok. Va bene. Ciao ciao. Saluta Biancaneve quando puoi. Cioè. Va bene, basta. Vabbè ragazzi, avevo fatto fin troppe battute sul nano, quindi se il video vi è piaciuto fatemelo sapere, lasciate un commento, iscrivetevi al canale per seguire tutte le novità e niente, iscrivetevi anche alla pagina Facebook. Quindi per Game of Thrones è tutto e ci vediamo al prossimo video, ciao a tutti.